Hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Evan Better Presents. We are in a very special place today. Oh, don't look at the map. That's a cheat. Don't look at that map. This is the test server, or I should say my test server. And what we're doing here is I've been testing out reactor builds. Because it's not practical to try and build a reactor in my own world and end up with, well, this. This, as you can see, is the result of several reactor explosions. There's a creative energy cell right over there from the last one I was working on. Why does this happen? Well, because when you're building these things, you have to decide on a few different pieces of information. You have to decide how hot you want the reactor to be, how much energy output you want the reactor to have, how you want it cooled, how you want it functioning, all of these little pieces of information. It's quite a list of things to actually do. Excuse me. And unfortunately, that tends to result in explosions, as you can clearly see. So, what do we got here? Well, we have our 6-chamber nuclear reactor. We'll take a look inside. Oh, perfect. You can actually just see what just happened there. Those LZH condensators just swapped out. Now, I plan to use LZH condensators because of the fact that I actually have so much lapis lazuli. I've got like 20,000 lapis. What am I going to do with all this lapis? So I might as well use it to recharge my condensators. And I'm going to watch. I'll show you this guys in a second. It's going to keep going. So you saw that just pop out. The old one, this one's going to pop out in a second. The old one goes out, and the new one comes in. Now this setup is not the most efficient. I tried looking at the reactor planner. For some reason, Java is giving me this error log, and I can't load it. I just can't do it. I could do the manual design. I could like download it, but I can't view anyone's reactor designs using that thing. The Reactor Planner version 3. So that's a real pain in the ass. I don't know why Java is blocking it. Now, everything I was seeing was, quite a few months out of date, and Java did just update itself, so it may have blocked whatever execution line it was using in that. I don't really know. I'm not a Java C++ coder or anything like that. So anyway, I had to kind of do this trial and error. This particular setup here seems to be working pretty good. The main power, I wanted it to go for 1,000 EU at least. And I found that this setup here gave me the 1,000 EU without giving me ridiculous amounts of heat. Because the way these reactors work is it's not squares. It's lines. It's lines of fuel rods that interact with each other. At least as far as I understand it. So, before I was trying to do a reactor that gave me 1,400 EU a tick, and it was basically this block here, full up. But the power that thing was putting out and the heat that thing was putting out was not manageable. It was just impossible to keep it stable between LZH condensator swap outs, and quite a few of these little craters over here. Excuse me. Are the result of trying to do a reactor that put out more power than this one does and is stable. You can build monster reactors that put out, 8,000 friggin' EU. It's possible. It's just impossible to keep them from exploding. Like they overheat. These things are constantly switching on and off. This one here will never turn off. There's a cycle. It's still got 4 hours, 19 minutes left. It will never shut off. Alright, this is never going to kick on. I have this set at 2,000 because 2,000 is the bare minimum that I want to see this reactor ever get to. Right now, it runs at 8 heat, 6 heat, 5. Alright, 2,000 heat is where I want it to say, no, too much. Alright, so let's just take a quick look at how this is set up here. So you saw the inside casing, how I have it set up here. These LZH condensators, which are the top tier cooling device, they cool 100,000 heat each, which gives you an idea of how much heat this son of a bitch is putting out. None of the heat's actually making it to the casing. So this was incredibly hard to figure out. There's quite a few people who have built applied energistics reactors, but nobody's really explained it in too much detail. So here, I'm going to stop rambling and just get into the nitty-gritty of this one. This is a fuzzy import bus, okay? I had to let one of my LZH condensators burn down to nothingness, as you can see right here. So you can see the code on it, 383.9999. Then I set my fuzzy bus to split damage at 25%. Okay, so what that does is it pulls these LZH condensators, which you'll see in just a half second here, when this one gets down to about 25%. Any second it's going to pop it out. So it's about 7,500, I think, is the number. 7,492, 7,507. There you go. See, it popped it out. So it pops it out, and a new one takes its place instantaneously. That's done by this fuzzy bus down here, which I think I actually have set up incorrectly. This fuzzy bus, I'm pretty sure I don't need it to be a fuzzy bus. I think I can use a precision bus. In fact, I'm going to try and switch that out, because I think I'm ready to duplicate this setup back home. And you know what? Let me do it off camera in case this blows up. I want to show you guys what I've done. So anyways, I have an import bus. Let's just assume it's a regular import bus, bringing LZH condensators into the reactor. And as soon as a spot opens up in the reactor, an LZH condensator pops into that spot. Over here, I have just two basic items in the system: lapis and spare LZH condensators. Which is actually, there should be more than that. Oh dear. Oh, that's why. That's why. I was fiddling around with something here. Let's just remove that. There we are. So, I've tried a few different machines. The cyclic assembler seems like it was the easiest one to automatically fill these things back up. So you can see here how this works. The lapis, and I got to find a way to curve the input here, but this is the last stage of what I need to work on. Everything else is set. And I'm thinking maybe I'll just put a chest here that it feeds out of instead of feeding directly from the AE network. Back home I've got like 19,000 lapis, which this would overflow with lapis, so I don't want that happening. But anyways, as you can see here, this cyclic assembler has a schematic in it of an LZH condensator being recharged. So one lapis, one LZH condensator, or one blue dye. It can use both because lapis is considered blue dye. Anyway, what happens is the broken ones come out of this, and you'll see this happen in a second because they're starting to burn down over there. They automatically get pulled out, and they automatically get put in by this fuzzy bus. Now this fuzzy bus here, oh, this is the export bus, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is the right one. So this fuzzy export bus, I have it set up to various stages of the LZH condensators, how they can come out of that reactor to make sure that they come here. It automatically sticks the broken LZH condensator into the cyclic assembler. The cyclic assembler automatically follows the schematic of putting lapis and one of these broken LZH condensators together to give a different layer, and hopefully we can see in a second here. You'll see, you might have been able to see it when I fixed it. All the broken ones came in. They get paid. Look, watch, see? There you go. There you go. So some of them take 2 or 3 turns to go through this machine because lapis only repairs 40,000 damage on these LZH condensators. So the lapis is only doing a little bit of this repair. And we'll watch that one more time. So they're gonna come in that red state. Then they're gonna automatically show up here as green. See that? Boom, you saw that? Okay, so now what happens is this import bus detects LZH condensators in these 3 various stages. So completely broken, slightly repaired, and it matches any of these. All right, and it'll pull them back into the system, which then this import bus, being filtered this way, automatically detects that it hasn't completed that job yet, brings it back in. Now this is wasteful because basically I'm using 3 lapis on every one of these LZH condensators when If I balance the system better, I could probably do it in 2. Excuse me. But this way I'm getting 100% filled off of one machine. All right, so let's just go over this layout one more time. LZH condensators are in their heated pattern here. Which I actually have to switch a couple of components out. Anyway, this is still a work in progress. I'm hardly a reactor expert. Please leave me ways to continuously get 1040 while having a more efficient layout. I would be very happy. But remember that JavaScript is not working. I can't see your little linked reactor planner information. So, reactor has this fuzzy bus. I waited until it got down to completely destroyed, set this to 25% damage. Now anything that gets down to 25% damage of a fully damaged LZH condensator will be pulled out of the system. It goes through the ME network instantaneously, and it comes over here to this import bus. Well, export bus of the system into the cyclic assembler. It recognizes this as a actually, that's wrong, yeah. All right, so I've got a little mistake here because this actually should be one of the red ones, not a fully broken one. But it works, so I'll be happy. And it detects these various levels. You can tell by the number at the end, 357, 3528, 3526. It detects these various stages of these LZH condensators. All right? And it pulls the broken LZH condensator into the system. Automatically repairs it. And then this one detects that it has been repaired, shoots it back out, but unless it meets 100% fully repaired, it brings it back in again through this bus here again. Yeah, so this is definitely not set up perfectly, and just looking at it, I can tell that. But I was having such a hard time when I finally got this to work. I was so happy, and you can see here I just have in here would be extra lapis and LZH condensators repaired. You always want to have a buffer, right? So that in the event that this breaks or some shit, you don't end up with a situation where this is going to overheat. Always, always, always have your thermal monitor. Do not rely on a remote thermal monitor. They can break. All right, the last couple of things here. Always keep a chicken chunk loader. You never want to have your ME system automatic or for some reason not actually interact with your reactor because it's in an unloaded chunk. Always have a chicken chunk loader within your reactor facility. Ignore that. That's just a creative energy source. Up here we have a wireless receiver tied into our reactor. Over behind here on the wall we have a wireless transmitter. And the wireless transmitter is just tied up to this little thing I found called a switch. Boom, off. Boom, on. That's a little nicer looking than a lever, plus it gives you a nice visual indication right there. So I don't need to look at this to tell me if it's on or off. But you can see here we're putting out 1000 EU. We go over to our power converter. Oh, our energy cell is full. Let's grab another one. Actually, let's tie this into the bloody system. Let's shut the reactor down as we do this because everything's going to grind to a halt. Yeah, so this was quite a work. This was quite the work. It took me a long time. I was probably working on this thing for 5 hours. This setup. Because again, I'm not professional when it comes to the AE network. I'm no Captain Jack. Let's make sure everything's got power. It does. Reactor can come back on. Boom. All right. Yeah, so there you go. We've got 1,000. You saw it there for a half second. 1,000 EU. You know what? Let me just put another resonant energy cell. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a half second. There. 1,000 EU per tick, basically coming out of the reactor, converts it over to 4.2 thousand RF. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. So, this is basically what I'm going to mirror back at the base. Oh dear, what's that? You're not getting enough power, really? Is that a thing? How is that happening? Did I break the connection? Oh, pfft. Whoops. Whoops. I didn't have any power being transmitted out of these cubes. So it was literally using its internal storage. That was a close call. Lots of little things can happen. You got to be careful. But yeah, again, this setup is not perfect. These guys here have a habit. They're the only things that will not auto repair. These guys auto repair, and these guys auto repair, but these will not. These do auto repair. So eventually, the heat would build up enough that between these cycles, the heat should be enough. You can see there, everything took a little bit of heat damage there. Eventually, these would be burned. Oh no. Maybe. I'll have to check into it a little bit more. But eventually, these things are going to get burned out, I think. And then they would fail, and the reactor would fail. I don't know. I'm going to have to check into it. Again, if you have reactor designs, please leave me some way of being able to input it, because I'm not a professional reactor designer. I really don't know how to lay these things out properly. I found some good information, but that's what I'm following online. Like, I don't really know anything. So this is my reactor setup. Wireless transceiver again. This is just our advanced information panel, which has a seizure effect now, which is really, really annoying. I don't like that at all. But yeah, you can change these things to different colors if you like. You can set it up so it doesn't have the actual information, just gives you the straight numbers, which now I understand why it's seizuring. The number. Watch when it hits a 9 again. Yeah. It's kind of poorly designed. You can adjust... Oh my god, you can... Oh my sweet god, that is brilliant. Oh my god, guys, look at that. That is amazing. Oh, I did not know it could do that. That's amazing. You can even recess it in the wall. Oh my god, that is freaking awesome. That's pretty cool. I did not know it could do that. Anyway, so guys, yeah, this has been my reactor build. It's not in any sense of the word perfect, but it works. It'll use lapis. I've got lapis for days. Might as well use it. Yeah. So, I hope this was helpful to you. If you're building your own AE network integrated nuclear reactor, if you have any questions about it, please do. Questions, comments, improvements, especially improvements. Again, this is just my own amateur build. I don't and never will claim to know what the hell I'm doing, but it seems to be effective. This seems to work. That's important to me. But again, any help is appreciated. So thanks very much, guys, for watching. This was a special episode of Evan Better Presents from the test server. And this is my fully integrated AE network, auto-replenishing, 100% safe nuclear reactor with 0 heat levels. Not very effective breeder reactor, but an incredibly effective energy outputter. So, I'm going to start rebuilding this bad boy, in the actual test server, or off of the test server, in the real server, and we'll see how she performs in the bunker. Hopefully, it doesn't result in anything like this, which it shouldn't, because I do have it all reinforced. But God, you can never be too safe, right? So, I'll see you guys all in the next episode. Thanks for watching.